This is Carla, or as otherwise known as Redhead Mama's cooking segment. And today we are going to cook a great recipe from the new Artisan's cookbook. Now this one is the gluten-free cookbook, but we're going to use the regular recipe. Okay, and this is Artisan Bread in 5 minutes a day. Can you believe it? Just 5 minutes a day. So you just have to prepare first, and then every day you can have fresh homemade bread. All right, so this is our recipe. I've got it out. All right, so the first thing that we need to do is, after we've laid out our things that we are, all the instruments and things that we need and all the ingredients that we need to what? Wash our hands. Yes, front and back. So let's do that real quick. Turn on the hot water. Just a tad of cold because my hot water can get pretty hot. So let's start. Get it wet. Good squirt of soap, couple squirts of soap. And look, I'm washing the back of my hands. See, get nice and sudsy in between the fingers. And I'm throwing bubbles around. And get those fingernails. Get the fingernails. Get real good. You gotta do at least 20 seconds because we all know there's a big bad virus going around. And we don't want to spread anything or any other cuties. So we are washing our hands very, very well. Nice and bubbly. Okay. And that's been about 20 seconds or a little more. And then rinse really well. There we go. Rinse, 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 rinse. Get all the bubbles off and turn it off. I always shake off some extra water. Let's grab our towel. Handy dandy clean kitchen towel. And dry our hands. Okay. So most of you know how to wash your hands. If you don't by now, then you have not been watching TV, YouTube, or the internet at all. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our recipe, okay? We are going to need lukewarm water, which I'll put in here, okay? We are going to need granulated yeast, and you can use any kind of yeast. It says that in the recipe. All right, then we're going to use salt. They call for kosher salt, which I don't have right now. I do have iodine salt. They're interchangeable, okay? And then you are going to use 6.5 cups of all-purpose flour. You don't have to have bread flour, cake flour, any other specialty flour. Just the normal all-purpose flour, okay? And then we need a big bowl, my giant bowl, or another kind of container that has a lid. So you have to have one that has a lid, all right? And something to stir with, okay? So let's get started, shall we? Okay. So in our big bowl with a lid, okay, we are going to dump in the water. So we need lukewarm water. So it's not going to be super hot water and it's not going to be cold water, okay? So what I want to do is, how much water do I need, kids? We need 3 cups, all right? This is my water container, all right? This is from the Pioneer Women's Collection. Beautiful. I'll do my Vanna White impression. Very good. Okay, so it goes to 4 cups, but we only need 3 cups. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add cold water, and then we're going to microwave it just a little bit, okay? So I always use the purified water because our water here in Cold Springs is way too much chlorine in it. So I'm watching it. Here, I'll show you. I'm watching it as it fills. It's getting close to that 3. And whoop, stop. And let's look at it. Let it settle a second. Perfect. 3. Okay. And now let's put it in the microwave. Now, normally, if I want to do boiling water, to boil water, I'll do it for 2 minutes, but I don't need to do it for 2 minutes. So I'm going to do it for a minute. And mine just do press 1 and it automatically starts. So I'm going to give it about 30 seconds and then test it. And you want it to be where it feels warm to your touch, but it's not hot. Okay? So it's going to be warm, but not hot, because we don't want to kill the yeast. If it's too hot, then what's going to happen is you will kill the yeast. Now you can use a temperature gauge, and I've got one somewhere. Let me watch. Oh, let me stop it. Okay, it's a little past that. Okay, so I've got some, whoopsie, a spatula's trying to attack me from the rear. No, get in there. So we've got a thermometer, okay? And you can see the numbers on there. And we don't want it over like 110, okay? So you get it out. So if you don't have one of these, you can just test it on your skin, okay? So what I would do is just test it. Yeah, it's not warm enough yet. Okay, put it in and see it'll rise a little bit. Here, I'm gonna stir it a little bit. Okay, there. See, it's moving a little bit. Oh, see, it's under 180. So take that out and let's put it back in. All right. All right, we've got it heated up. We're gonna test it again. I've got my handy dandy thermometer. We'll put it in the water and see how it's moving up. Okay, moving up, moving up, moving up. And we're getting closer and closer. Oh, we're at 100. A little bit past 100. All right, that'll work. I'm at 110 by the time I pour it into the bowl. It'll come down. Okay, so let's go over to our bowl. All right, so we've got our bowl. So what it says to do is we're going to go ahead and put in our flour. So we've got our water ready. Okay, we've got our water ready. We're going to go ahead and put in our flour. So we need 6.5 cups or 2 pounds of flour. Okay, so we got our little handy dandy measuring thing. It shows me up here on the sides. We have our cups on one side and then the equivalent ounces on the other side. Okay, and this is nice because you can really see where you're at. Okay, so we need to get it. Let's get a big spoon so we can get it out of there and put it in here. Okay, so we're just going to dump it in, and remember we need 6.5 cups. So this goes up to 4, so I'll fill it to 4, and then do a little math. 6.5 minus 4 leaves me with what? Everybody think about that for a minute. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Ignore the peanut people in the back of the room. We're going to get in trouble when I get done with this. Okay, so as you can see, it says, oh, a little less than 4 cups. Okay. So I'll put in a little more. You got to have the right amount or it'll be way too wet. All right, here we go. We're at 4 cups. Perfect. So we just dump it in. All right, so 6.5 minus 4 leaves you with 20.5. No, 2.5. Very good. You guys are on it today. Everybody's awake, motivated to make bread for our families and friends. Bread always makes everybody happy. Nice, hot bread right out of the oven. And with this recipe of the basic recipe of dough, you can make all kinds of other things. You can make pretzels out of it. You can make rolls. You can make loaves. You can make round things, you know, just everything. All right, so if we look again, cleared off a little bit. Whoop, there we go. We're at 2.5. Okay, done with that. Put the spoon down. Close up the flour because you will not believe this could get knocked over and then go everywhere. Then we have an entire kitchen full of flour. Not a good idea. All right, dump that in. Dump, dump. Got it. Flour's in. Next ingredient in. All right, so we have, and this can get very tricky for some people, we have a tablespoon, and we have a teaspoon. Now the tablespoon, if you can see right there, that shows a capital T, capital B, capital S. When it has a B in it, it's the tablespoons. When it does not have the B, but has the P, it's teaspoons. See the size difference? Big difference, okay? So it's calling for a teaspoon of salt. You don't want to put a tablespoon of salt in it because it'll be way too much. Okay, so we need 1 tablespoon of yeast. Now this is active dry yeast. Now look at that. Beautiful colors, they're little granules. Okay, I keep this in the refrigerator, keep it alive. All right, get a nice healthy tablespoonful. All right, and we're gonna just dump it in. All right, again, put the lid back on everything because you'll be surprised how things get knocked over in the kitchen. All right, and then we need a tablespoon and a half. Okay, so I have to find my half tablespoons. I don't have it here. So let's put a tablespoon of salt in. You can do it to the desired taste. So really, since I like less salt, I'm only going to put in a tablespoon of salt, not a tablespoon and a half, because I really don't want it too salty. So see, it's leveled off. Again, close the salt, sprinkle it in. Ta-da! All right. Now, what do? What do we have left in our recipe? We have our water. So now let's add our water. And we're gonna mix it around. Remember, it's warm, lukewarm water. And we're gonna pour it all in, plop. This is kind of like a dump recipe for bread. Okay, see it's in there. And now the hard part. Yeah, stir it, stir it, stir it. You could put it in your mixer, like I have a mixer, and it has a dough hook. But since I don't only want to use one thing in one container, not get everything dirty in the kitchen, I'm just going to use this. One bowl, and we're going to just dump everything in, and we're going to get it all incorporated, or all mixed together. Okay, so we're mixing, we're mixing, we're mixing. See, it's getting, all the flour's getting incorporated. See how that goes? Everything's getting incorporated. So let's get some of this off my spoon. So we'll use the edge and dump that back in. I like this recipe because it's a dump recipe. You don't have to do a whole bunch. You don't have to be so super careful, because a lot of recipes that call for yeast, you have to be really careful with it. You got to add the sugar. It has to be the water or milk. It has to be a certain exact temperature. Okay? And it gets cumbersome. It gets tiring when you got to do everything so perfectly, so scientifically. When it's nicer if you can just dump everything in, mix it all up. Okay? Now look at that. See how nice it's getting all mixed together? You don't see dry flour anywhere. Everything's incorporated. Okay? Keep mixing it a little bit. Okay. Clean off my utensil here. Dump it in there. Oh, sticky here. I'm gonna use my finger. Get it off. Get it off. And it's going to be sticky a little bit because flour and water make things sticky. Okay, so get this all off. Get it off, get it off. Okay, so we got it in the bowl, everything's mixed together. And now what we do is we get the lid. Okay, put that to the side. I'm sticky. I have dough stuck everywhere. Ah! Okay, let's put the dough in there. It's not coming off there. Rub it off a little bit. Okay, dough's in. So what you do now is you take your lid and you put it over it. Now, you don't lock it down. You just put it over it, okay? Because you want the gases that the yeast make, you know, that all the makes it bubble and makes it rise is all the gas that the yeast makes. So you want that to be able to escape. If you have the lid down and it starts getting all the yeast, you know, and all that gas keeps building up and building up, what's going to happen? Boom! It's going to blow up. So we don't want that. So we're going to nicely put the lid on it, and we're going to set it aside for 2 hours. And then we'll come back. And through the magic of television, voila! And we have our bread. It's been rising. We're going to take out the pizza stone because we're going to be using that. Bring everything over here and set it on the counter. All right, let me shut the oven again. Okay, so now let's put this here. I warmed up the oven a little bit. I put it on 325 for just a couple minutes just to make it so it's a little warm when I put it in to raise. Okay, so now let's show you what it looks like right now. Are you ready? Look how much it's risen, how pretty it is. Look at all the little, see all the little bubbles everywhere? Those are all the yeast gases coming out. They're all popping out and they're ready. It's ready to be used. So what we're going to do now is make a loaf of bread. Okay, put this to the side. So what you want to do is you want to take your, again, it's bread flour. So put a little bread flour down because we're gonna knead it a little bit and it's gonna be pretty sticky. So take off that ring. Okay, so get your hands floured up nice. See, nice and rolled up. And we're gonna take out about a pound of it. Okay, so just gonna kind of guesstimate on that. All right, so it's enough to make it, you know, a nice round loaf. Okay, so you ready? Here we go. And we don't want to flatten it. A lot of people, they'll punch it down. You don't want to punch it down. This bread, you don't have to do that. Okay. All right. So let's get some. Oh yeah. See how gooey that is? All right. Let's take it. It's nice and stringy. We get another nice handful. Oh wow. Now a lot of times you can raise this also in the refrigerator. Wow. This is going to be a mess, but that's okay. Baking is messy, especially with flour, and it's fun. All right, so let's get the flour all over it. All right, see, we're rolling it in the flour, kind of pulling it off our hands a little bit, scraping it all up, getting the flour everywhere. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Whoops, I keep moving it out too far. Okay, and kind of rolling my hands back and forth, kind of getting some of that off. Yep. All right, keep rolling. I'm probably gonna need a little more flour than that. All right, hold on here. Yeah, we get lots of flour because this is sticky. Now you can let this raise overnight in the refrigerator, so it'll be cool. When it's cool, it's a lot less sticky. So, but I'm just trying to show you everything right now, and we're getting this off. See, I'm just kind of rubbing it, getting it off, putting my hands in the flour, putting it down. Oh, this is so fun. It's messy. It's like kind of like playing with Play-Doh, but it's kind of like edible Play-Doh when you're done with it, which is great. It'll be so delicious. Your family will be like, wow, how did you do that? And you'll be like, well, you know, it took me hours and hours. You really play it up that it took you a long time. But it's just going to take you 5 minutes a day once you get this first batch ready to go. The longest time is just raising it. Okay, so now it's a lot easier to handle. I'm getting all the little pieces together. Keep rolling it in some more flour. All right, I'm going to kind of knead it together. I'm going to make it into a nice ball here. So I keep shaping it, kind of rolling it around. Use a little more flour, a little more. Again, it's very sticky. See, it's starting to stick again. Okay. So you roll it, and then what you're doing is you're kind of rolling it under like that. See, you're just kind of tucking it under. Get some more flour on it, all over it. Flour. Get all the little pieces in there. You're just kind of incorporating everything. All right, there we go. All right. Now, there. It's nice. It's a little bit warm. It's nice. It's elasticy, you know. Just kind of mush it together like that. Look at that. See how smooth it's getting? Oh, I got more flour there. Okay, forgot I had flour there. That's what happens when you get old. Okay, so you keep kneading it together. Okay, keep kneading it together. Get it in there. All right, now let's start making the ball again. Okay, so see, I've got the ball again. So a lot of it is nice. Oh, a little sticky there, so put it back in the flour. All right, look, we're getting flour everywhere. I told you this is a messy job. Oh, my shirt. All over my shirt. Okay. All right, keep rolling it. Oh, yeah, nice. And we want to do this till it has a nice, pretty, smooth, and it's not all sticky. Okay? So it's getting nice and smooth. A little bit there. There we go. Knead it in. Oh, yeah. There we go. That's feeling good. Okay, now see, it's getting nice and elastic on the top. Okay, and all this on the bottom, you kind of want to pinch it all together. Get a little flour on it. Okay, bring it all together and just kind of pinch it together like that. Okay, and then just kind of tuck it under, tuck it under, tuck it under. Okay, what do you think? See, it's going to pinch together under here. All right, flour. Okay, let's let it rest just a second. Okay, so I've got a pizza stone, okay, and this is the pizza stone, okay, and we're gonna bake our bread on this. Okay, so what we need to do is, so it doesn't stick, we want to put some cornmeal on there, okay? So let me grab the cornmeal. 1 second. Find it. It's in here somewhere. Cornmeal, where'd it go? There we go. So I've got yellow cornmeal, okay? And what I want to do is put a nice little layer there, okay? And you want it a little bigger than your, area. Okay, oh, sorry, the artist in me has come out again. Got a cute little smiley face. Okay, no, gotta have it. Here we go. We're not playing tic-tac-toe either, even though that would be fun to play with cornmeal. Okay, so we make it a little bigger than what we need, okay? Then we pick up our dough, okay, again. Now this is gonna spread out some, so don't worry. So it's gonna be a little, kind of a little flat, little spread out. So I've got it nice and pretty, everything's tucked under, and then I'm gonna set it in the middle, okay? Put my lid on again, we don't wanna spill cornmeal all over the place, or flour, because that's a mess, all right? And then we're gonna take it, and I'm gonna put it back in the oven. Now the oven is not on, the oven is just a little bit warm, okay? So the oven is a little bit warm, and I'm gonna slide this in here. Okay, and I'm gonna leave a little room to the side there where I'm gonna put some hot water when we're getting ready to bake it. Okay, all right, and then we let that set for 40 minutes up to an hour and a half, depending on if you like lots of bubbles, holes and stuff in your bread, or if you just want it not as holy. All right, we'll let that rest for a little bit, about 40 minutes to an hour, and we'll come back and bake it. All right, and here is our raised dough. Now we're not done yet, it hasn't been baked yet. So right now I have the oven set to 450, which is the correct temperature. Okay, and on the oven I took the bread off the pizza stone and I put it on a plate because the pizza stone has to get hot. And also in the loaf pan, the metal loaf pan is boiling water. So what that is going to do is create a nice warm, hot, steamy environment, so it helps the yeast to grow. All right, so the next step that we need to do here is we're going to put this, see it's still loose, it has the cornmeal underneath it. We're going to put this onto the hot pizza stone, but first we have to make some cuts on it so it's able to continue rising, okay, and not just flatten all out, okay? So you take a sharp knife, okay, and you just make some little cuts, okay? And you can make them decorative. You can kind of do them any way you want. I'm just going to do them like this. They do it a little different in the book, but I just did 4 little marks like that, and that's all I need. It's not very deep, just enough to see how I cut just the surface a little bit, so it's able to rise and expand. This is what we're trying to do, to let it rise and expand. All right, so we'll give it a few more minutes on the oven to reach the right temperature. It hasn't beeped at me. As soon as that's beeped at me, we'll put the bread in, and we will bake the bread for 30 to 35 minutes until it's a nice golden brown. All right, our timer went off. The bread looks golden brown. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to test the bread to see if it's done. Okay, oh, it's looking nice. Let's pull it out just a little bit. The rack, I've got oven gloves on. Okay, it looks really nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, hear how it sounds hollow? That means it's done. All right, perfect. All right, so we're going to pick it up. Okay, carry it over, and I'm going to put it on the rack. Now it didn't rise up as much. Maybe I needed to cut it a little deeper, but you know, it's trial and error with bread. So we're going to let it cool to room temperature, and then we're going to try. See you in a few. We have our bread cooling on the rack. It's all nice and cool, room temperature now. So now we get to try it. We're really excited. Okay, and now for the big real. Whoa! Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful color. Beautiful color. And look at the back, the bottom of it. Nice. I wiped off some of the extra cornmeal. Okay. Place it back over. All right. And we're going to try it. Now, to cut the bread, again, you want it at room temperature, but you use a serrated knife. Now, look at that knife. It has little kind of bumps all over it. Okay, that's a serrated knife. That's the type of knife you want to use so that it cuts the bread, saws the bread, and doesn't crush the bread. Okay, so not putting your hand here and trying to cut, no, but holding it, and you just want to slice right through it. Oh, you hear that? That's a nice crunch on the bottom. All right, boom. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. If you could just smell how delicious it smells right now. And there you go. Now you have all the tools you need to make your own homemade bread in 5 minutes a day.